On Thursday, 20th of November, Xbox held a partner preview showcase. There were some really cool games highlighted here, so I wanted to spotlight my favorites and put them on your radar. The presentation itself was narrated by Jennifer English, which was great to see, and it also focused on Xbox Play Anywhere, in which every game shown is compatible with. If you want to support the channel, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, or if you don't like it, then leave a thumbs down and let me know how I can be better for you. With the housekeeping out of the way, let's look at everything that was shown. From the creators of Godfall counterplay games comes Armatus, a third-person roguelike shooter. Set in Paris, which has had a lot of attention this year due to the likes of Expedition 33 and Pokemon Legends, you play as the Eternal Warrior sworn to protect the 4 remaining mortals, the clerics. Using guns, holy powers, and melee weapons, you fight through the usual roguelike system, where each death is a learning curve, but some upgrades and abilities don't get lost, so you are always progressing. The look and feel of this reminded me a lot of Remnant 2 from a couple of years ago, which I enjoyed immensely. I am a fan of roguelike games, but they have to get the right balance of upgrades, boons, and what you lose. Each run has to feel like you are getting better and has to feel slightly different, otherwise you lose that desire to want to go again. This may sound obvious, but it's not an easy task to execute. Armatus has no official release date yet, but it does have a 2026 window. The Mound, Omen of Cthulu is a co-op horror survival game that can be played from 2 to 4 players. You are dropped in a jungle with a Lovecraft setting with a few weapons and must survive for as long as you can. As the trailer suggested, there may be some mind games and hallucinations at play that could cause you to accidentally kill a fellow player instead of a horrible fleshy monster. The aim is to get far enough to the legendary underground and unimaginable treasure. This Lovecraftian co-op horror has narrowed its release window as it is now penned in as summer 2026. Dave the Diver got a collaborative shot playing on his ROG Xbox Ally X to announce that it is available today to play on Xbox and that the expansion In the Jungle is available early 2026. Up next was a game I've not seen before, but it wasn't its first time getting announced. This is the exact reason why I love these kinds of showcases, as they bring games like this to the foreground and it looks awesome. Funded by a Kickstarter, Crowsworn is a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania. The combat revolves around 3 weapons: the scythe, pistols, and Corvian magic. The developers have stated that the combat system takes inspiration from Bloodborne and Devil May Cry, which sounds incredible. The art style is heavily Lovecraftian too, with the crow wearing a mask similar to the doctors of the Black Plague. This one has got my attention for sure, but sadly there was no release window announced. Indie developer Coco Cucumber revealed a sequel to their game Echo Generation. Echo Generation 2 follows in the footsteps of its predecessor with amazing voxel graphics, which to me I always say looks like 3D pixel art. This game is best described as a cyberpunk turn-based RPG with a retro horror vibe. The turn-based combat is drawn from card and deck builder mechanics, and the world is significantly bigger this time around. Sadly, the reveal of Echo Generation 2 did not come with a release window, so we'll have to wait a bit longer for this one. Speaking of deck builders, we had the reveal of the next game from the Vampire Survivors developers. Vampire Crawlers is set in the same universe as Survivors, but is a completely new genre. Vampire Crawlers is a dungeon crawling roguelike deck builder, and judging by the trailer and the further release screenshots, looks like it can get pretty chaotic. This is a popular genre at the moment, and for good reason, as these types of games can get incredibly addictive. Looking at you, Balatro and Slay the Spire. As Crawlers is set in the same universe as Survivors, there will be some things fans will recognize, such as the characters, loot, and even jokes. This was definitely one of my highlights of the show, and it has a release window of 2026 and will be coming day 1 to Xbox Game Pass. 007 Firstlight had a brief showing here with the Aston Martin Valhalla, which screams classic Bond car with all the gadgets and weapons attached. Something they were criticized for in that first gameplay trailer, where the car looked uninspired and a little bit boring. It's nice to see that they do have this in the game, which will shore up some of that excitement ahead of its March release. Roadside Research is hitting early access in 2026, which is a funny co-op simulator where you play as aliens trying to disguise themselves as humans. Then we got a shadow drop with Total Chaos, a first-person survival horror title that you can play right now. Pulling from the Xbox Wire, in Total Chaos you'll scavenge materials to craft makeshift weapons and battle against horrific creatures as you unfurl a nightmare narrative. narrative. I thought the trailer looked intense and intriguing, so I'll probably check it out this weekend as I do love my survival horrors. Sticking with the horror angle is ReAnimal, the co-op horror game from the developers of Little Nightmares. You play as a brother and sister searching for their lost friends while also trying to escape their home. The art style is instantly recognizable from these developers and the trailer is deeply unsettling. You can play this one in single player with the computer controlling the other character, but I do think it is best designed to play with another. The developers stated that ReAnimal has a shared directed camera designed to maximize claustrophobia and tension, which gives me goosebumps just to think about. There is a demo available now if you want to try it out ahead of its release on February 13th, which is now unintentionally becoming the month of horror, with Resident Evil Requiem hitting a couple of weeks later. One of the most interesting games that showed up was Erosion. This is a Western-inspired isometric game with a voxel art style. This is a roguelike game, but one where death has consequences. Yes, you get another chance to go again and succeed, but each death ages the world around you by 10 years. This means watching things decay, but most importantly seeing your loved ones lost to the passage of time. The run and gun gameplay looks fun in an expansive open world where you must try and save your daughter from a warlord before time passes too much and you lose her entirely. I'm certainly interested in Erosion and will be picking it up when it releases in spring 2026. Zoopunk is a game that looked like it could be AI generated, but I am including it as developers TI Games have assured us that this is not the case. Zoopunk is a third-person action-adventure hack-and-slash RPG where you play as a ragtag group of anthropomorphic animals. Each animal has its own fighting style that leans into its characteristics. The team makeup is a rabbit, which took most of this trailer, but also a rhino and a chipmunk. I am unsure if it will work as a system where you can switch through the characters at any point, or if you can only select one per mission. This is also set in the Forged in Shadow Torch universe, which was the developer's previous title. This game is a ways out though, as we won't see Zoopunk until 2027. Clover is a roguelike horror gambling game where you are trapped in a room with a slot machine. If that premise interests you, then you can play it right now on Xbox, but I believe it existed on PC already. Hitman World of Assassination is getting an exclusive mission where you must help Eminem defeat the evil alter ego Slim Shady. This looks like the perfect matchup, and I love to see things like this come to fruition in the video game medium. Then was the showstopper, Tides of Annihilation. As a side note, this character is voiced by Jennifer English, who was also narrating this showcase, so good on her, she's been killing it these last few years. Tides of Annihilation is a third-person action-adventure game where we take the role of Gwendolyn, a lone human survivor in the setting of a London wasteland. Gwendolyn seeks the Holy Grail to save her sister, and this particular trailer focused on a large boss fight which showcased where the Knights of the Round Table inspiration reveals itself in the game mechanics. Developers call this the dual frontline battle system, which gives players the ability to summon and command different Knights of the Round Table to assist them in combat. In this trailer we saw that in action and features Lamorak, a spear-wielding knight. This boss fight in its entirety was a spectacle to behold. There were so many cool things happening on the screen at once, and it had constant variation. There was even one point when the arena turned into a mirror reflection and I gasped with how amazing it looked. My one concern here is that the game did look pretty framey, which I hope the developers can shore up ahead of its release, which is currently unknown. To finish off the event, we had a cinematic trailer reveal for Raji Kaliyuga. This is the successor to Raji in Ancient Epic and is still set in ancient India 6 years after the first title. This is still an action-adventure title, but with differences to the first game, pulling from the Xbox Wire. Raji Kaliyuga expands on the conflict, portraying not just a war among mortals, but a cosmic struggle involving gods, asuras, and mystical forces. You play as Raji and her younger brother Dash as dual protagonists that you're controlled during different parts of the story. The sequel also makes bold new strides into a new genre, pivoting from the first game's isometric interpretation of ancient India into a full third-person action-adventure. We have not seen any gameplay for this title yet, but you can see screenshots of the game online on the Xbox Wire. Currently there is no release date and the developers have said it's a ways off, so I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. And that was everything shown at Thursday's partner showcase. Are there any titles that you are particularly looking forward to? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and if you don't like it, then leave a thumbs down and I'll try to be better next time. Check out the channel for my recent reviews of Dispatch and Keeper. Keep an eye out for my Dispatch spoilercast and Best Games of December video, both hitting this week. And for everything else, casual gamer, keep it here. Peace and love.